Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. I know it's been so long, you guys. I mean, yeah, we did the Welcome to Derry watch party yesterday, and that's all, well and good, but gosh, I miss just hanging out with you guys, I really, really do. However, I do want you guys to know I'm just trying to give you a little more of everything that you guys like from the channel. So, for a long time, I relied on these live streams, and honestly, I don't know if it's really just laziness or the fact that I felt so comfortable with you guys doing live streams, but I knew that there was that pre-recorded side of YouTube that I was kind of abandoning and needed to figure out, where I could be active in that realm in a way that felt true to myself and in a way that was interesting to you guys and actually got views. Because I tried to do like movie reviews and stuff like that, and I love going to the movies and everything like that. The reviews just weren't really hitting, but lately the pre-recorded stuff, I've just been getting a little more creative on that, and you guys have been responding. You guys have been great. We've got theory videos, your theories on Scream 7, my theories, as well as M's theories on what might come with Stranger Things season 5 here in the back half, in the true finale of the finale, right? And then not only there's the breakdowns of the trailers where we go quarter speed, and that's super fun. The Halloween franchise ranking, I'm working on one for A Nightmare on Elm Street as well, and then we'll tackle Scream here before Scream 7 comes out, so I'm excited for that. And right before jumping on here, one of the reasons why I'm a little late, okay, I admit it, I'm a little late. I was recording some horror news. So I don't know if you guys caught the first episode of the horror news as a pre-recorded show, but I really love the setup. Editing was kind of a nightmare on the first one, but now I've got a nice little template to go off of, and we've got some really great stories that popped today that I can't wait to share with you guys. So I'm going to edit that right after this. Work, work, work all day long. Work, work, work while I sing this song. But I'm going to say what's up to you guys, because we're going to talk Stranger Things part 1 of season 5. We're going to talk all the spoilers. If you're here and you haven't caught up, just know that there's already spoilers like in the poll that's in the chat. So I felt like putting all the spoilers on the thumbnail was good enough. So hopefully I don't piss anyone off. But I'm going to say what's up to you guys. We're going to get cruising here. Yeah, there is a poll in the chat. Go ahead and vote. Have some fun with that one. I got a super chat goal, not required, just kind of extra fun. What I'll do if you guys meet that super chat goal, 5 super chats of $5 or more, I'll jump on Friday. I'll do a late night. I'll do a late night. I will jump on at midnight Eastern. We'll get friggin' crazy with it, guys. And we'll just, whatever you guys want to do. I mean, within the realm of acceptability and, some social norms, not all social norms. We are a weird bunch, but we're a fun bunch. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know about that. I'm going to say what's up to everybody. I want to show you something really quick, and then we'll jump into our discussion. What do you guys think of the logo? Are you guys digging the Davey Deathray Christmas logo? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. We got Ashton Luck in the house. What's happening? Ashton, Chester Franklin Jr. We got Shoddy. What up, Shoddy? We got Paula Fitzhenry. Guys, the other day was Paula's birthday. So give Paula some birthday love. There's that little button in the chat where you can send the little party hat or whatever the heck that is, the confetti. Let's see some of those fly out here for Paula. And a very happy birthday. And I know Paula's a big fan of Stranger Things and a big Eddie fan. Don't worry, we're going to get into my thoughts on seasons 3 and 4 because I just watched them for the very first time. So before we dive into all the spoilery goodness, I just want to give you my thoughts on those seasons since I was such a Stranger Things hater until I watched those. All right, we got Nanette Blackwell. How are you doing, Nettie? One of our great channel members right here. Nanette, what's happening? Hope you are doing well. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving also. We got King Matthew III. What's happening, King Matthew? I am doing great. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you. We got Stephanie Hinkle, one of our great channel members. How are you doing, Stephanie? So great to see you. Always so great to see Steph pop in. We got Gory Tiger in the house. What's happening, Gory? Hope you are doing well. We've got who else? Who else is in the chat? Who else? So I've seen some of these chats. Nanette, I'm going to star that chat because I can't stop and read everyone right now, but I'm going to star them because it looks like you're talking about Stranger Things. So there you go. Chester, enjoy the wrestling. What's happening, Christine? How are you doing? Christine Tassoni. What's happening, Christine? Always a pleasure. We got Brett from Good Real Hunting, one of our great channel members, and Death Squad Mods. How are you doing, Brett? Guys, Brett, oh my gosh, it's not within reach. Brett was so sweet. I'll have to show this off to you guys. I'll show it off maybe on Wednesday or some other time. I can tell you what it is. After I reached 2,000 subs, Brett was like, what's your address? I want to send you something. And I was like, oh my God, you're a creepy stalker. Who are you? How did you get my number? And then he sent me a very revealing picture that, only he and I would know who it is based on the mark in that part of his body, or on that part of his body rather, maybe in. Anywho, Brett from Good Real Hunting sent me a bound screenplay of the original Evil Dead film and a sweet card congratulating me for reaching 2,000 subs, which is such a sweet gesture. Thank you so much, Brett. I mean, I reached out to him personally and was like, thank you so much. And we gave each other some shit on Thanksgiving. But I just thought that was really sweet. The Evil Dead's one of my favorite movies. You can see the poster right there. And the next time I watch that flick, I'm going to pull out that screenplay and I'm going to thumb through it. And it's going to be an experience like one I've never had before. So really do appreciate the thoughtful gift, Brett. Holy cow, we got Leanna Bevy Rage in the house. What's happening? Leanna, one of our great channel members, and Death Squad Mods. God, I love that icon you've got, Leanna. It is so righteous and badass. And yes, let's do some spoiling. How about it? We got Antonis Andriotis. What's happening? Let me know when the spoilers start. Dude, if you're here, spoilers are they're in the poll, dude. Like, if you show up to a stream that says all the spoilers, I can't warn you. I am not going to do any warning. There's a pinned warning in the chat. That's it. But thank you for being a channel member. And yeah, you might just want to bounce, bro. You might just want to bounce because people in the chat are probably already talking stuff. We got Afro Whale 2. Says, anyone know every stream I have to refresh to actually get them to start? And I always miss the openings. Well, I was a little late getting in tonight. Sometimes I have to refresh to start as well. I think that's just a weird YouTube thing. I don't really know why they do that. Don't really know why. Let's see who else we got. Brooke Scarlett, the lovely Miss Brooke Scarlett, one of our great channel members in Death Squad Mods. How are you doing, Brooke? Hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. Grandbaby's first Thanksgiving, right? That's got to be fun and special. And I'm sure there's all sorts of mashed potatoes and shit flung all over the floor. And then maybe some crying, too. I mean, the baby probably cried too, but perhaps from everybody else as well. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family is rocking and rolling also. Who else do we got in here? Just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. It doesn't look like I am. It doesn't look like I am. I don't know why I said that twice. I think it just reassures myself. You guys are chatting so fast. We got Adrian in the house. What's happening, Adrian? So good to see you. We got Mechanimal. Why did I say mechanical? Necro, we miss you. It's so awesome to see you in the chat again, man. So awesome to see you in the chat. Mrs. Kurt. So now we're talking. So this is not spoilers for It, Welcome to Derry. But I am watching that show, Necro. I am watching it. I don't know if she would be the one that ratted out. Maybe, although she is sleeping with the guy. So I don't know. Nanette loves the Christmas logo. How about it? Does anyone else like the Christmas logo? I think Nanette might be the only one that likes it. Okay, let me get in here. I'm just going to check the poll. Yes, guys, we've got a poll in the chat. What hit hardest in Season 5, Part 1? The options are Will's superpowers, Vecna's epic entrance, his Darth Vader moment, right? The Darth Vader moment. Max to Holly's rescue, which I knew she was wandering around somewhere. I just didn't know exactly how she was going to play into things. Or Callie/8 making her return. I think that's the most surprising. I don't know if it hit the hardest, but that was the most surprising. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Really quick before I get into my thoughts on seasons 3 and 4, and then we'll get into all the spoiler talk and everything. I want to show you guys something. Okay, it's going to be really quick. Don't be mad at me, anybody. Leanna, don't be mad at me. But I'm going to show off something here really quick. Guys, I put up some new Christmas merch. Very few items, okay? But there's just a whole Christmassy kind of look here to the Fourth Wall Shop. If you use the code HO, just all in a row, ho, all in a row, ho, all in a row. Oh, no spaces there, and you'll get 10% off on Davey Deathray's fourth wall shop. There you go. Wow. I was like, I'm either going to have a heart attack and die on this stream, or I'm actually going to like kind of nail that. And I kind of nailed it. But yeah, guys, just a few items here. I spent so much time on the doing all the spooky season stuff, and I was like, well, maybe people just really don't need all that thrown at them. So very simple stuff. This logo that I've got, there it is. You can get it on a hoodie, you can get it on a regular sweatshirt, you can get it on a black coffee mug, white coffee mug, and then we've even got a beanie there as well. Now on the beanies, I do want to let you know they're embroidered. It's a really nice embroidery work that they do. The mugs have this nice little reverse side where you can look at a Christmas tree and some presents. They're both pretty much the same. The black mugs are just a little bit more expensive. I guess the black paint or ceramics or whatever is just more expensive. I don't know. But there's different colors for the hoodies, so you can get like a nice pink. I like the gray's pretty nice. Pink. I like the kind of off-white, and then there's a white as well as a black. And then I really like this eggnog kind of color on the Christmas sweatshirt, the non-hoodie, and then some other colors as well. So anyways, just wanted to let you guys know, link to the shop is in the description below. Use the code HO with no spaces, and you get 10% off. How about now? Check me out, cash me outside. How about now? Okay, there we go. That's enough of that. That's enough of the commercials. Let's see what you guys are saying. I just want to catch up with y'all crazy kids here. Christmas logo is super cute. Thank you so much, Stephanie. You know what? You're super cute, Stephanie. How about that? I'll do you one better. Adrian James says the new logo looks great. Adrian, you look great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Chester likes the Christmas logo. If I'm pleasing Chester, I'm doing something right. I know that for sure. Let's see what else we got. Christine says Christmas logo is great. Afro Whale loves the Christmas logo. Boom, there it is. I'm gonna star. So some of these chats that are coming in about season 5, I'm gonna star those. Yeah, the Christmas merch is fun. I'll share the link in the Discord as well. By the way, guys, if you're not on the Discord, it's totally free. It's really fun. Not a requirement, not everyone's thing. Totally get it. If I didn't have a channel, I would not be on Discord. That's all I'll say. I probably wouldn't even know it existed. Let's see here. Shoddy, I see your chat there. I'm going to star that. Sean Sheridan 123. Thank you so much for the one. Is that a £1? Is that what that symbol is? Thank you so much for the sticker. I actually have to go over to YouTube and look at the sticker. Oh, it's just, why isn't it showing us a cool, I'm not seeing like a little graphic. Usually the stickers have little graphics. Maybe I need to check on it later. Okay, so guys, I'm going to jump in and show you guys or talk about a couple things here. Thank you, Shoddy. Appreciate you, bud. 10% off from Ho. Well, yeah, and then I need to change up the membership. Guys, if you're a channel member, there's a different code. So I need to change that up or at least just share it again on the member side. So you guys get 15% off if you're a channel member. Okay, I've blah, blah, blah enough. 15 minutes in, I'm trying to lessen the blah, blah, blah. Usually it's like 20 minutes in before I actually get to the shit. So let's get to the shit. Okay, seasons 3 and 4 are my first time thoughts. Guys, I just watched seasons 3 and 4 for the first time just this last like week and a half leading up to season 5 coming out. After season 2, I was like, wow, that was such a rehash. Really didn't like the whole backdoor pilot thing with Callie and her little band of misfits and trying to pull 11 like to the dark side. You know, not really my kind of thing. And I was like, you know what? TV is just, this is what TV is now. TV is just a bunch of like teasy stuff, and they rehash, and they're you know, all they do is they only want you to come back and watch the next episode. They're not interested in like telling a good story. Sorry, I just have to adjust my levels. But man, jumped into season 3. Holy cow. The storytelling was like next level. I'm just going to say it right now. I think seasons 3 and 4 of Stranger Things, I think that's some of the best television I've ever seen in my life. From a storytelling standpoint, acting, character development, you know, the breaking characters off into like different groups and people sort of get to pair up in different ways. I really liked that in seasons 3 and 4. And man, just like the pacing was so rock star, you know, they really found their groove on how to tell the story. and how to get you, you know, within those like 10-ish hours of each one of these seasons to just get you as much juicy content as they could, and to keep things moving along in a way that felt very earned, not clickbaity, not I mean, yeah, sure, there are cliffhangers, but the whole episode is so good that it didn't feel like there's, you know, a lot of TV, I don't know if you guys feel this way, a lot of television, there's a lull in the middle of the episode or a lull in the middle of the season, right? So it starts out strong and it ends strong, but then you think about it and you're like, man, I feel like they kind of trimmed some of the fat there. Seasons 3 and 4 of Stranger Things, lean, 95%, you know, muscle, I would say. Maya Hawke being introduced, like, what a great, you know, performer. I dig her voice. I really dig her, you know, her chemistry with Joe Creary. Is it Creary? I think there's a first R in that last name. Yeah, Steve and Robin are great together. Dustin and Steve continue to be awesome. I won't, you know, keep on going over and over on seasons 3 and 4, but man, the music was really killer. The stakes, especially in season 4, really got raised. Just a lot of great moments and a lot of great character development, and you know, really getting to sit with the characters and get to know them so well. So I was riding really high after watching seasons 3 and 4. I'm like, oh my God, season 5 is gonna be like, boom, it's gonna be like, just like, you know, driving a friggin' car 120 miles an hour through like a wooden door. The door's just gonna like shatter and splinter into a million pieces, and season 5 is going to be just the most epic thing ever. But is it? Is it? I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. I'm gonna go over my positives and then we can all sort of talk about our positives. So season 5, I will say this. By episode 4, I was like, all right, cool. We're finally getting to some real shit. I would say my positives are Vecna looks badass. I was legitimately surprised that bringing Callie /8 back into it. I was like, damn, that's a really good way of bringing something back that I think a lot of people, even people that enjoy the show, you know, have their misgivings about season 2, particularly that episode with Callie and her group. Of course, not everybody feels that way, but I think by and large, there's some like kind of feelings about that. So, man, they could write this character in a way in season 5, especially in the back half, where it gives us a totally different appreciation and understanding for that episode and maybe more of season 2 as well. So I did like that they brought her back. I'm like, well, I mean, let's make sure we use her the right way, you know, use the character within the story the right way. I'm still digging the music. I've heard enough of the Kate Bush. Definitely heard enough of the Kate Bush. We can hang that one up. But like Tiffany, I dig that. There's a couple other tracks, and it's just like all slipping my mind right now because sometimes that happens when I'm live. I think the performances are really strong. None of that has slipped at all. I think the score is maybe even better than it was in previous seasons. They've just seemed to add a little bit of a different tinge to it. And I like that in moments of the first few episodes, we do have some pretty high stakes, but they seem to be relatively fleeting. So with my negatives, why I'm concerned, and I'm going to pop open this Chucky Punch here. Chucky Punch from Fanta. It goes down smooth. Why I'm concerned, guys. Because the pacing of seasons 3 and 4 were so good, and season 4 ended in such an epic banger of a kind of a 2-parter ending with like 2.5 hour finale or 2 hours 15 minutes. I just don't know if you can, like, how do you rise to that occasion again? And it felt like the drop off in energy going from seasons 3 to 4 was amazing. There wasn't there. There was no drop off in energy from seasons 3 to 4. Season 4 to 5, man, like it's like trying to wake up from a nap. You know, it's just like groggy, really slow. And here's the thing, we've trimmed out some characters. No Argyle, no Susie. We've let go of some characters. The Russian guys aren't in there anymore. And then so we're hanging out with characters in season 5 that we've already watched for 4 seasons, and they're really taking their time setting up. You know, I figured after the first 2 episodes, like, let's go. Like, let's fucking go. And it felt like episode 3 was still a build-up. So I do have my concerns about the pacing. To me, it feels like the Duffer Brothers know how they want to end the show. They know the spectacle and the apex that they want to reach in the finale, but they don't really know what to do with the whole rest of the season, at least with this first half of the season. And another thing that I kind of have a gripe with is, again, our adult characters don't want any of the kids who are all like 17 and 18 now to like do anything. Hopper and Eleven are still fighting over her autonomy. They were dealing with that in season 3. I thought that was like done and dusted in season 3 and finished, right? And we're getting more of that. Joyce is almost insufferable with how she treats Will. I think that's pretty bad. I think Winona's bad. Maybe that's a hot take. She's not a good actress. She acts constantly confused and permanently bewildered, especially in this season. All she does is just look at people like, what are you saying? I don't even speak that language. Just a bunch of like eyebrow movements and like, huh, kind of stuff. It's I've never thought she was that great anyways. Certain movies, sure, but I've never felt she was a great performer. And I think it's standing out now because everyone else is so strong. And the last thing I'll say about negatives / why I'm concerned, a lot of bickering within the group. And especially after watching 3 hours for it to like ramp up in season 5, I was kind of sick of all of the infighting. However, some of these things might be, I think the parents letting go of the kids, Will letting go of the things that are like holding him back personally. I think that's an overarching theme within this whole series. And then who knows, maybe the infighting, maybe the bickering, we see this a lot in horror. It's sort of a trope, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. But this whole idea of like, guys, this is exactly what blank villain wants. He wants us to fight, and then we're weaker, and it makes him stronger. So there could be that element of like, that everyone's going to be weaker, and they're going to have to come together even more to defeat Vecna in the end. So, okay, I got my positives out of the way. I'm feeling good. Mid-season finale was good. I felt like it wasn't big enough. I wanted something bigger to happen. To me, Will getting superpowers is not really that big. In fact, maybe this is another negative / why I'm concerned. Everyone's getting fucking superpowers. When this show started, it was just 11. And of course, the people that she was like housed away with in the facility. But now Will's got powers. Max has powers. Holly seemingly either has powers or potential to have powers. I would not be surprised if like the spin-off show focuses on Holly's character, for example. So it's like a lot of these characters are being imbued with these things that are making the special not so special anymore. So a little bit of a concern, not a very big concern, but they can certainly alleviate that. But just to close out my thoughts so far in season 5, I'm hopeful that it's going to be handled very well in the back half. I do have faith in the Duffer Brothers that they will send these characters and us as an audience, into the sunset, satisfied with the culmination and the finale of this beautiful series they've put together. Regardless of how I feel about season 2, and I'll probably go back and rewatch it just to make sure. I like being proven wrong when I go and check these things out. It's refreshing because it's like, hey, you know what? Maybe I learned something. Maybe I've grown. Maybe I just see it from a different perspective. And at the same time, it's like another thing that I can really enjoy, and I don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I don't like Stranger Things. Like, it's not fun to like feel that way. I don't ever aim to feel that way about something, but sometimes I do. So, I think that this could be one of the greatest TV shows of all time, and that's just 5 seasons. So would be a pretty incredible accomplishment, but they have to do the most difficult thing. It's tough enough to stick the landing on the finale of just a season, but a series finale to just put a bow on everything, very difficult. If they can at least get like a 9.0, if they can at least get an 8.7, I'll be pretty happy. But I see that I'm missing a whole bunch of chats and comments from you guys. So I'm going to jump on over and see what's up with y'all. And then we'll talk about theories and questions. And we'll talk about some hopes for the finale. But I want to hear from you guys some positives, some negatives. Am I still being too mean? Maybe I am. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just bringing some stuff to light for you guys. And holy shit, I didn't even say this. Hopefully the mods have. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. share the channel, hype the video, all that stuff. God damn, the amount of commercials you have to do for yourself when you're a YouTuber, you know? Oh, excuse me, I have a burp from the Chucky Punch. Okay, let me scroll back on up here. There we go. I see Necro's chat. I know I'm kind of in the ballpark. Okay, let's see what we got. I feel like they're setting up Hopper to fully die because they've teased his death a lot in the series, first in season 3 and now in season 5. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's put a number in the chat for me, guys, and I'll know what you're talking about if it's just a number. How many of our main characters do you think are going to die? I was hoping, I kind of wanted Will to die in the series, in the mid-season finale, you know, or something. I mean, he's probably going to die by the end of the show. I just thought that there would be a big character death halfway through, and then for the next 4 weeks, all of us fans would be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that happened." You know what I mean? But there's not really, you know, there's not as much rumbling about the show, honestly. And I think it's because they didn't go big enough in that mid-season finale. No one's like, "Oh my god, Will has superpowers." Well, maybe like people who are disingenuous about their feelings are freaking out about it. I don't know. But yeah, it's very possible. Nanette says, did you know the Duffer Brothers got inspiration from The Empire Strikes Back? A lot of the inspiration for Vecna is from Darth Vader. Well, I can certainly see that, yeah. And Vecna is, I mean, he's a D&D character that has existed since like 1976, I think. So not that everything about their Vecna matches the D&D stuff, but a lot of it does. Like, a lot of it. So, but yeah, I totally pick up on all that inspiration for sure. I mean, the Duffer Brothers are probably right around the same age as I am. Maybe a little bit older, I'm not sure. I would imagine they are. So yeah, I mean, I think the inspiration that they wear on their sleeves is actually like really well, I would say well measured, the way that they work it in to what they do. I think it's not too syrupy and it's not too cringy, you know? Stephanie loves season 3 and 4. Let's see here. Season 2 was a tough watch, says Leanna, but now it seems to make a lot more sense. And that's my hope. I think that's what good writing and good storytelling does, right, Leanna? It's like you can retroactively make something that maybe didn't shine so much. Like you can really put a polish on it by paying it off in the future. So yeah, I look forward to going back to the first season and just like, you know, maybe once season 5 is over, you know, 2026, I might just like cruise on through the whole series again and, you know, take my time a little bit, 1 episode a night kind of thing, you know. Brooke says season 3 is my favorite. I think I'm right there with you, Brooke. Yeah, nothing against Vecna. I think Vecna's really cool. Season 4 I was like kind of tired of Max's character because I thought she was kind of shitty in season 3. And then I thought she was like oh great, now Max is shittier in season 4. And I get it. She's like gone through like a lot of trauma, you know, by the end of season 3, it's pretty rough for her, but I thought she was kind of bratty before then. I mean, which is not every character, you know, you do want some bratty characters, so whatever. It's I'm rambling at this point, but yeah, season 3, so friggin' good. Oh my gosh. Season 4 is kind of the worst season. That Russia plot wasn't really needed other than the fact they wanted to get Hopper back. But I've heard that one of the spin-off possibilities, Matthew, is that we will see more of Russia because they've got a gate there and they have a whole facility there. So there's like a Russia story that we're not really getting, and especially with some of the characters that were left behind, with Yuri and gosh, what's the other guy's name? It's not Anton, is it? The guy, the guard. Like, you know, we might be able to see a little bit more of their story. So I don't think the Russia stuff is not needed. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed season 4. I thought it was really solid. But yeah, maybe on a fresh watch of going through the whole series once we're done, you know, maybe my thoughts will change a little bit. Yeah, I think they're really close, Ashton, for sure. Eddie Munson's friggin' great. I mean, Eddie Munson might put season 4, just that character alone, put season 4 neck and neck with season 3. But I still think season 3 is my favorite. The kids still feel like kids. I think the music is the best. Robin and Steve, all of that chemistry and the way it plays out in a way that is unexpected, like genuinely unexpected and really well handled. I thought it was beautiful. So yeah, season 3, and I also think season 3 brought the horror the most. Not that Vecna isn't scary, but Vecna is so Darth Vader, Freddy Krueger, Emperor Palpatine, Voldemort. You know, like he is so typical. So, you know, it really is going to be how they close out the whole series to give him some unique points. But already there's a whole bunch of, I mean, it already feels like Will is basically Harry Potter and Vecna is Voldemort kind of at this point. And we'll talk a little bit about that more. But yeah, Eddie, man, I think Joseph Quinn does the best American accent that a non-American has ever done. It is uncanny how American he sounds. It's really good. And I just, you know, the metalhead with the heart of gold. Like, I love it. I love it. I didn't like how they extended some of the episodes and left some short. Oh, and then in the new batch, yeah, one of them's like an hour and a half, right? One of them's only like 55 minutes. They're kind of all over the place. I don't really mind that too much, Christine, because it's sort of like whatever the episode needs, right? At the end of the day, we're going to have 8 episodes that are probably like 12 hours, 11 or 12 hours, probably something like that. So it's like whatever you need to do to tell that story. I think that's one of the benefits of streaming is that you don't have to fit into like a 45-minute block for, you know, 45 minutes of show for an hour block of television. So I kind of like that they can play around with it a little bit more. I would not be surprised if the finale is like 2.5 or 3 hours long, because if they're putting it out in theaters, I'm guessing in between 2 and 2.5, probably closer to 2.5 hours long. Shoddy says season 3 is my favorite and season 4 is an all right season, mainly felt like a setup. Well, it is a setup. I do think that they pay some things off in season 4, but it certainly is a setup for sure. Yeah. Didn't get into Stranger Things until season 3. That's a good one. It's a good one to get into. Bring Eddie back, says Leanna. Well, he might come back as, what is it, Kaz the Destroyer? He could. That is the vampiric right hand to Vecna, who basically I think ends up turning on Vecna at some point within the D&D lore. So it's possible. I don't think he's been listed in the casting, but they could have some sneaky shit going on, you know, to where we could see characters. You know, it seems like we're not going to see Argyle or Susie. I have a little bit of a theory that I think Dustin might end up with Lucas's sister Erica. I don't know if we're going to see that like in this season or if that's something that's going to be built into like the comics or books or a spinoff or something. I just get that vibe from all the season 3 interactions that maybe they will end up together. But yeah, bring Eddie back 100%. What's happening? Eli says, just popping in to say hi, and don't forget to slash that like button, sub to this amazing channel, and consider becoming a member of the mighty Death Squad. Thank you so much, Eli. And thank you for the tip on what's it called, Portrait of God. Thank you, Eli. I recorded a news video that I'm gonna cut up and edit after this live, and you get a little shout out and a little love. Let's see, season 3 is very good and season 4 is great. Keep hoping for Eddie to come back, and kept getting disappointed. Plenty of time, Brett, plenty of time. I want him back too. I think a lot of us do, especially the ladies. Or anyone who's into dudes, you know, it doesn't have to just be the ladies, but yeah, maybe it is mostly. Eli, thank you so much for dropping on in, man. Appreciate you. Eli's one of our great channel members, Death Squad mod, a pillar of the community here. He reaches out and shares news with, I mean, a lot of people reach out and share news with me. When Eli does it, it's like, you do have to stop everything, because he waits until it's like, he makes sure that this is going to be some good shit. He's not sent, like, every now and then I'll get stuff, and I'm not going to name any names, but every now and then I get stuff where it's just like one of those like collider images that really is just clickbait. Like, oh, somebody confirmed this. And it's just because they like casually mentioned it in some like red carpet interview, and it's like not a confirmation of anything. But Eli always makes sure that it's really, really good shit. It really didn't need a 3.5 year in between 4 and 5. Yeah, real-time wait is too much, Christine. That's one of the cruxes of this show. 9 years for 5 seasons is too much. It is, yeah. Robin is my MVP for season 5 so far, says Brett. So much fun and entertaining. She does say I like dick, even though we know that she doesn't, but we know she's saying it in a totally different context. Yeah, I think Robin has been, I wouldn't say MVP of this season. Gosh, who is the MVP of this season, guys? We might find out that it's 8. we might find out that Callie is the MVP because she makes these illusions. We don't know. What if some things that happened in seasons 3 and 4 didn't really happen? Like, what if we get these revelations in the back half? Think about that. Back half of season 5, Callie's powers are to create illusions. I think she's messing around in like Vecna's head or in Vecna's space or in some other space that's like kind of in between worlds, something like that. That could be a thing. But she could also at the same time, depending on how powerful she is, or, you know, they almost have her like hoisted up like an antenna in the upside down. And that's another curious thing too. The military base that's in the upside down, that they're keeping Callie there and not keeping Callie in the real world. I think anyways, we'll get into more. We'll get into more Callie talk. I want to get through you guys' chats. But I think Robin is going to be even more badass in the back half. I think she's going to find a way, her and Dustin are going to find a way to use sound waves to either sort of like temporarily disable Vecna or maybe even rip through the wall. And it's perfect because it's 1987, so they could play Ronald Reagan go, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. It'd be great. Totally forgot Winona Ryder and Maya Hawke's dad, Ethan, were both in Reality Bites. Did they date for a little bit then? Wouldn't be surprised. What's happening? Destiny Faulkner, one of our great Death Squad mods, and a new Arizonan. I had no idea, Des. I'm so happy. Happy for you. Happy for Braden. And gosh, just happy that I can bug you guys even more now. And even better though, we can go get slices together. So that'll be a blast. Not that you need me there, but I'll find a way to glom on for sure. Yeah, for sure. Leanna says, I actually loved season 5 so far. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I guess just having come off the high of the season 3 and season 4 are like almost like perfect television. And season 5 feels like a really slow ramp up. That the slowness seems to be a bit too aggressive, or not as aggressive of a climb as I want. But hey, I'm pumped that you're loving it so far. I know a lot of people are. I know Ashton was like, I need the next batch of episodes like right now. Put them into my eyeballs. So there you go. Jason says, Davey, don't care much for Stranger Things. Can I still hang in here? Not having a good day, man. Ford dealership tanking my holiday season. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Jason. You're absolutely welcome to hang out here. I mean, especially if you don't really care. We're just going to be talking spoilers. So, you know, if you ever get around to, you know, spending time with the show and watching the show, just know that all spoilers are on the table here. So yeah, we're not going to hold back or anything like that. Oh, heck yeah, Eli. Well, thanks so much for tuning in while you're working. I hope you remember to hit the like button. I know you did. Anyone else see Holly's dress when she was at Vecna's house looked like Alice in Wonderland? Alice, she had an Alice vibe, then a Red Riding Hood vibe. And I even said Zelda at some point because it kind of reminded me of like a Princess Zelda dress. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the Duffer Brothers, like, you know, taking a little bit of a whole bunch of influences and pushing them together. And then you get this thing it is their own technically, but it's reminiscent of these other things that we know and love. So yeah, very easy. Yeah. Picked up on that almost right away. I didn't really, I'm guessing you're saying I didn't really like how they reverted Steve back to being obsessed with Nancy in season 5. Also didn't really like how he and Dustin are arguing. Well, Dustin's just like going through it, right? So Dustin's having a tough time with everyone. And I think Steve was maybe like, I don't even know if it's in season 4. I think he starts getting there with Nancy, you know, getting to that, maybe not obsession, but they clearly do have some sort of connection and they need to figure that out. Like both of them need to figure it out. For sure. Did anyone else think that Steve and Jonathan were going to kiss at the top of the tower in that first episode? I joke. Let's see what else we got here. Yay, same. Can we change the Kate Bush song already? It is rough. And I'll tell you this, guys. I was alive when that song was, I guess it was really popular. It was never as popular as it is right now. It's more popular because of this show than it ever was on its original run. That's for sure. Like no one really cared about Kate Bush that much. It was the one song and that was that. Man, Tiffany might have had a bigger run than Kate Bush. Shoddy says, I got chills when Vecna walked through. I was like, damn, it's about to get real. And it did, but I didn't mind the slow stuff. It felt like they were introducing the characters, and I like it. But we spent 4 seasons with the characters. So that's my gripe with it, is, okay, I know where these people are. Because in seasons 3 and 4, we get the same kind of beginning where it's like everyone's getting ready in the morning, and you get to catch up with like how everyone's life is now. And it's nice. Like I dig that. For a good half episode, maybe even the first episode, I was even willing to give them the first 2 episodes of season 5 to slowly ramp up. But 3 episodes, by the 3rd episode, I was like, y'all testing my patience now, because this is over. This is about 3.5, 4 hours of my life to set up 4 characters and a story that I'm already familiar with. But yeah, when Vecna comes through, it is very Darth Vader-y. I guess I'll just say this little kind of theory thought that I've got right now. By the way, if you want to check out more of my theories and some theories from M, aka Horror, we put together a video that we dropped just yesterday. It's about 47 minutes long, a lot of yapping, but it's perfect for like if you're doing some dishes or chores around the house or whatever, or just want to, you want us to talk you to sleep, then it's perfect for that. But I think Vecna goes in there looking for Callie. I think one of the reasons why they put Callie in the base that's in the upside down is maybe it's more difficult for Vecna to sense her in the upside down, or maybe she's more powerful there. So I think when he breaks into like the real world, he could have killed everyone there, right? He could have killed Joyce. He just throws her. He could have killed everyone himself and not even let the Demogorgons, have their shot at it. But it seemed, because he just shows up, talks some shit to Will, calls him weak, and then just turns around and walks away. I think he's looking for Callie. And he basically is like, well, I don't think she's here. He doesn't feel her, whatever it is. He doesn't immediately see her. He doesn't feel her. So he's like, I got to get back to what I'm working on. And hopefully we spend a little more time. I wouldn't mind a few well-placed scenes here where we do get to see Vecna. We sort of get to see this story, at least this part of the story, from his perspective, like in that messed up cousin of Groot sort of form. And it's like the longer he's in the upside down, the more like a unrecognizable creature he becomes, right? So I kind of want to see him like building his army, whatever he's doing with his plans. Like I want to see what's going on. I think he's going to turn those 12 kids into weapons. I think he's got some shit he's working on. Not even her best song, says Christine. There you go. Yeah, Chucky Punch. I'm that far behind in the chat, right? Wow, crazy. Oh my goodness. We got the lovely Miss Erica in the chat. How are you doing, Erica? One of our great Death Squad mods and channel members, and the Queen mod over on our Discord server. Okay, what else we got going on here? I might just skip ahead. It looks like everyone's saying, hey. Do you guys, am I totally missing you guys dropping a number for how many people you think are dying? Let me just cut all the way to the front. If I miss something big, I'm sorry, guys. Members, just know that kind of like a super chat, you guys can share a member chat. So it comes up big and green on the screen. It tells us how long you've been a member. It's a really fun thing to do. In fact, I think I can give away some memberships right now. There's no Eddie, as far as I know, there's no Eddie slander, unless it's happening in the chat, Destiny. Yeah. Is it happening in the chat? Wait, what did I do? What the hell did I do? I'm not wild tonight. Is it me? I can't look through all the chats. Hot take, the flesh wall was made by 10. Who's 10? Which one's 10? I don't even know. I don't even know. Yes, Kate Bush. It's Kate. Nah, Davey's just being a PETA. What does that mean? What does Pete? I don't know what that means. Yes, slices, Des. 3 would be my guess, says Linda. Welcome on in, Linda, one of our great channel members. Sorry, guys, just trying to catch up with the chat, and it's like, there's so much going on because we're talking Stranger Things, so everyone's very passionate. I will say this, if I miss your chat, you could send in a member chat. You could shoot over like even if it's just a $2 super chat and I won't miss it. Not required or anything. Okay, I figured it was shoddy. Feel free to time him out. How am I being a pain in the ass? What did I do? What did I do? I thought I was being so nice. Oh my gosh, I was having such a good time on this stream until now. Let me give away some channel memberships here before we really get cruising, because I think I can give away 10 today. So let's see what we got. There we go. I'm going to send 5 channel memberships. Boom, there we go. They have been sent. Let's see who gets those. So we got Skate Punks gets a membership. Solar Guy, AJ, MMA, Rusi, Manny's Manic Media, and Kill the Credits all get memberships. And let's go ahead and gift 5 more. Why the hell not? This is giving the gift of membership. It's quite lovely, everyone. It is quite lovely. Let's see who's gonna get this next batch here. We got Tales from the Shelf, Master Casalius, Wilkie's Movies and Music, DJ Plays Favorites, and T. Parker Evans. Welcome to channel membership, everyone. Quick break, quick commercial. I'm starting a horror movie club for members only in January. What we're going to do is we're going to meet twice a month just in regards to the movie club. And every week there's going to be like an assignment to watch a movie independently, of course. And then a couple times a month, there's going to be an optional movie to watch. What we'll do is, you know, we'll watch a few movies, we'll hop into a stream and we'll discuss those movies. And the optional movies are going to be tied thematically in some sort of way. So it'll be just kind of like the way a book club is like, you know, sort of dissection and discussion of the literature. This is going to be that, but with film. And to kick things off, because we've got Scream 7 coming out at the end of February, I believe on the 27th, we're going to start with the Scream franchise. So we're going to watch through those movies, work in some other movies that are thematically connected or very, very close. And then we're going to meet twice a month to discuss them. It's going to be for channel members that are in that second tier and above. So it's going to be for the Fuel and Fire tiers there. So I think $4.99 a month is, you know, but I need to do more for channel members, but I also was like, I want to do something that makes people want to be members. So I think a horror movie club could be really cool. And we'll watch 4 movies a month at least. And so what is that, like 48 movies in the year? So, you know, quite a bit, or I guess, yeah, it'll work out to being about 52 movies, you know, since there's 52 weeks. So it's going to be thematic through as we go through the year. There's a new Evil Dead coming out next year, so we'll probably go through those. Just a little break, a little commercial for you guys. Now let me get back to people calling me a pain in the ass in the church. All right, let's see here. What do we got here? Shot by shot with the Eddie slander, and you with the wild Stranger Things slander in general. Not at all. I don't know what I said that was slander. I have no idea. Not at all. King Matthew said, I'm thinking Lucas will die out of Max and Lucas. Because Max's favorite song says something about swapping places with someone after making a deal with God. Yeah. Or, well, he might, and then she swaps with him, right? We got Stacy Bill Garrell in the chat says 10 needs to have some importance to the show. They showed him a lot and they didn't show him in the massacre. Yeah, I guess like I watched those episodes so quick I don't even remember like who that is specifically. Oh, is that the guy that Dr. Brenner is with? Like, I think is it in season 3 in the flashback? So you see the massacre and you think 11 did it, right? And he is just in the room with Brenner. Is that the guy? The one that's in the room with Brenner. Okay. Oh, okay. Sweet. I don't take it personally anyways, unless it gets really personal. All right. Nanette says, I have another question. Do you think the reason the monsters are more powerful in the Upside Down is, why do I think they're more powerful? I just think Vecna is, that's a good question, Nanette. I think they're sort of like a bunch of lost puppies before Vecna shows up to the Upside Down. And then Vecna showing up there sort of gives some sort of direction and drive to everything that's in there. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Although I haven't thought about it too much, you know, really. Element in the Upside Down where they're slower in the world. I don't think so. Even in season 5 so far, we've seen that the Demogorgons have new abilities because they're able to tear you know, holes in between worlds, which they were not able to do before. Before, it was like Vecna would have to kill somebody in that spot to open up a gate, right? And now the Demogorgons are opening up gates, kind of like, well, it kind of reminds me of the Sentinels in the future from X-Men Days of Future Past. That's what they remind me of in this one. Let's see what else we got going on here. Speaking of movies, send me your address on Instagram. I have something for you. Ooh, all right. All right. Yeah, I just put it together, but thank you. You probably put that in there as I was having the thought. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, did everyone hit the like? Come on, y'all. Come on. Ben Graham, one of our great channel members, says, you think the Mind Flayer will be included this season? Or is Vecna the final boss? Yeah, I think Vecna is the final boss. I think that's pretty much what they showed us in that opening scene of season 5, with Vecna going up to Will and saying, you and I are going to do some beautiful things, or we're going to create beautiful things, or something like that. I think the Mind Flayer is subservient to Vecna. I think Vecna's always been like the big bad, and the Mind Flayer is just, you know, a big dog, pretty much. Yes, y'all. We've got a Discord. Shoddy says, I think Will may die by the end of the show, maybe 11 too. And if so, well, I'm going to need a lot of tissues. But also, I think it's what the show needs. We need more main characters dying. Yeah, they're going to do that for sure. I think it's going to be like Will and Vecna versus 11 and Callie. I think that's what we're going to see. Because Will has already been shown to be the eye of Vecna, right? When the Demogorgons are going around doing their things, it's like Will can see it. So Will is the eye of Vecna, which is from the D&D side of things. And there's also the right hand of Vecna. And I think Will, with his powers, is basically going to be not only his powers, but everything that Vecna was pumping into him. Vecna is a big time groomer, and he is essentially going to use Will as a tool. You know, he's going to like pervert him in nature. We're meant to think at the mid-season finale, like, sweet, Will has powers. Like, he and 11 are going to team up. They're going to help the heroes. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think Will's he has no control over his powers. I think it's going to his frailty and emotional weakness, which, you know, Vecna points out, and it clearly is there. It's not a critique of the character. It's just something that they've been telling us in the story for years now. I mean, pretty much since the beginning. So I think Will is going to be sort of like turned into a bad guy and will sacrifice himself to either weaken, cripple, or kill Vecna. That's kind of my vibe that I'm getting. I wonder if Will will be working for Vecna, and 11 will have to kill him. Something like that. I think we'll see the whole Will, like the part of Will that's still the good part of him that loves his friends, is going to be in there and is going to make the sacrificial decision. It's a very classic storytelling mechanism, you know? That's possible too. Yeah, he could become even more or Vecna could be like, I'm setting you up so you can be my new body, you know, like that kind of thing. That's what I was thinking. So, you know, Star Wars also is derivative of a lot of other kind of storytelling and all that sort of stuff. But I was thinking, you know, just to kind of talk a little bit about Star Wars here for a sec. In The Force Awakens, when we meet Supreme Leader Snoke and Kylo Ren, I was like, oh, this Snoke guy is like, you know, he's either like his body is still developing. You know, this is like a lost soul that put himself in some creature that's not quite together. And I was like, I think what he's doing is he's building up Kylo to be powerful enough so Snoke could put his consciousness and essence inside of Kylo Ren, but Kylo would need to reach a certain level of dark-sidedness, or whatever you want to call it, for Snoke to be able to do that. So we could see something like that, Stephanie, like, becoming the new Vecna by way of Vecna being like, you're my new vehicle. You're the vehicle for my soul, which sounds like a really great song title. She's the vehicle of my soul. Christine, yeah. Oh yeah, wonder if Will will be working. Yep, exactly. And I thought you were saying it's kind of like the movie Christine, and I'm like, I would like to see some of that mixed in. I guess some of the music is kind of there. Thank you so much for jumping on in, Erica. Really appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night, and I hope you have a lovely day at work tomorrow. Take care. I'm not sure about that. They did a play in England, and it's before 11 was around, and the writer of the show is the writer of the play. It makes it seem like Mind Flayer was more powerful. Yeah, I just don't know about this Mind Flayer guy. To me, Vecna seems like a bigger threat because he's got like a brain. But I could be wrong. I mean, fuck. Like, because is the Mind Flayer just what we... Speaking of which, I didn't even say this yet. Have you guys played Resident Evil 4? Let me know in the chat. Raise a hand if you've played Resident Evil 4. Excuse me, I keep on burping because of the friggin' Chucky punch. The Mind Flayer in Season 3 looks almost exactly, I'll say almost exactly the same as Sadler at the end of Resident Evil 4. Like, the character design is like almost the same thing. So I was like, I couldn't stop thinking about that. But is the Mind Flayer, you know, the big spider creature that they saw at the end of Season 2? Is it 2? And then they've showed it at the end of Season 4, I think, right? Is that just what the Mind Flayer can become, or is that something totally different? Like, what the hell is that thing? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. Vecna is totally manipulative. Yeah, he's a big-time groomer to any character he interacts with. He did it with Eleven. He's doing it with Will in a different way. He's doing it with Holly. And it's like one of the things I brought up in the video with M from Horror Her is like, is Vecna, is he giving people powers? Is he like bestowing powers on people? Or I think he's doing that. I think he's also maybe unlocking potential because he certainly did that with 11. It's just really curious, like his motivation and his limits. Does it make him more powerful to sort of like spread his infection, kind of like get his tendrils around as many people as possible? Is that what makes him powerful? Because it certainly in Season 4, I picked up on the theme of that season was, if you hide your trauma, you hide your darkness, you hide your pain, and you hide your hurt, you are going to be more vulnerable. Because Vecna was going after people who were not talking to their friends and sharing their trauma with their friends and family. You know, so he knocks out the first couple, Chrissy and then Fred or whatever, and then he starts going after Max because she's separated herself pretty much from the whole group. And she's not even being truthful about what's going on with the school counselor. So that was definitely the theme of that season. And I think that's going to, of course, that's going to bleed into, you know, what we're seeing here in Season 5 for sure. There's no Resident Evil games for my Switch. No, you can get Resident Evil 4 on the Switch. Yeah, that's the best one right there. Yeah, Davey James, welcome on in, one of our great channel members. Don't you think the Mind Flayer in Season 3 looks a lot like Sadler at the end of Resident Evil 4? Like, the design is so dead on. I've only played RE1, 7, and 8. I'm more of a Silent Hill kind of gal. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 is a bit more action driven. It's really, really good though. I dig it. I dig it. Okay, guys, I'm all caught up on the chat. I'm going to jump in and check out the poll here because I really haven't checked it out at all. What hit hardest in Season 5, Part 1? Will's superpower. So wait, 29 votes. Will's superpowers has 48%. Vecna's epic entrance has got 21%. Max to Holly's rescue has 24%. And Callie/8 making her return just 7%. But understandable for sure. Okay, I just wanted to check in on that. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Okay, there we go. The inspiration for the Upside Down and the Mind Flayer came from the other world in H.P. Lovecraft. Definitely a lot of Lovecraftian shit going on here for sure. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Okay, so theories and questions. Let me know, guys. What are some of the theories that you guys have? I mean, some of you, we've already talked a little bit about those, but so even if you don't have any theories, like what are the things where you're like, not questions like they didn't explain it enough, but you're like, ooh, like what if blah, like what if this or that? Like I don't know, that as I watch TV and movie, I mean, not as much with movies because they really pack that story in there, but especially with television, I just like my mind just sits there and like wanders, and it's just wanders and wonders, you know, like What does this mean? Is this going to play back into things? I'm just curious to see what you guys have to say about all of that. Meanwhile, let me get on some of these chats from before. Nanette earlier, she had said, I think, and I've thought this for a while, but I've never been able to ask anyone about it. The kids that Vecna targets have powers or have the potential to get power, and that Vecna targets them so he can drain it out of them into him so he can have all the power in the world. So what do you think? I think that's a pretty good thought. Yeah. One thing I haven't discussed, guys, the D&D stuff. So there's all this numerology in D&D. I don't play it, never have. I've got friends that play it, and this show has made me look up some of this stuff. There's 12 kids that Vecna is hunting and pursuing, and the 12-sided die in Dungeons and Dragons is used for weapons. So using bigger weapons like battle axes and stuff like that. So kind of like a specialty weapon sort of thing. So what if, yeah, Vecna's either turning them into weapons or using them somehow to power weapons? And then here's the mind fuck one. The 20-sided die is used, it's the most consequential dice in the whole game, and it's used for, to give you the best chance, or to the power of attack and skills and blocking and all that kind of stuff. And 11 plus 8 plus 1, so L plus Callie plus Vecna equals 20. And I don't think it's a coincidence at all that these numbers are getting thrown around, because D&D has always been a huge part of the show, and they wear that on their sleeve. And I think that I think some of it could be sort of not given away, because they could always like write around it or do something in a different way and just make us think that they're leading us down this path. But looking up Vecna and looking up Kaz, I think it's Kaz the Destroyer, and reading about the dice and everything like that, it just sort of like, it rose even more questions for me, where I was like, oh, now I really want to see this pay off in a way where this would be the kind of show you could pour over every detail for years and years to come and continue to theorize even after the series is over. That's kind of like, that's one of the hopes that I've got for just the intellectual property on a whole. Christine said, my husband said that Callie's return didn't hit him the hardest because he forgot she existed. I forgot that what her powers were. So I just was like, oh, it's that girl. I think they do a little flashback, and I was like, oh, it's that girl from that episode that I didn't like, in that season that I really didn't like. I couldn't remember that she like creates illusions. However, in that season 2 episode, she does create the illusion of spiders like all over someone's arm. And in season 4, we saw all of that affinity that Vecna, Henry, had with these Black Widows. And then in the Upside Down, like the sending the spiders and everything. So that makes me wonder, like, oh my God, are we going to find out that Callie was creating some of these illusions or was playing some sort of part? I don't think she's playing a part in a bad way, but it might seem that way until we get the whole story. And I think like Linda Hamilton's character, Dr. K, and all the military that are in the Upside Down, I don't think they're bad guys. I think they are trying to do the same thing our heroes are trying to do. And there is just like, they are not communicating about it. They assume that the other side is, the bad side. And so I think there's this misunderstanding thing. I wouldn't be surprised if our heroes and that military group that's in the Upside Down in some way or another joins forces here in the back half. I would not be surprised. You don't just throw Linda Hamilton out there for like nothing. So I also want to know, man, did she work with Brenner back in the day? Like, did she have something to do like at some point? Because all the science, or I can't remember what do they call themselves, or what do they call that group? They've got the initiative or whatever they call. I can't even remember what they call them. But they seem to be pretty separated from the military, especially as the show goes on. You realize that there's like a huge fracture, right? Season 4, massive fracture, like the military straight up killing guys and stuff like that. So, but what if Brenner and Kay, what if we get a little flashback, or we get a little, exposition dump, or maybe Max walks through a memory, right? And we see that Kay was there at some point. So at some point, these groups were together. They were pulled apart. The military and the government had their own way of thinking about it. the independent scientist group were like, well, we're going to go fucking rogue and we'll be against you. And what if Linda Hamilton and her goons, as they seem now, what if, you know, we get this epic battle, our heroes and those people fighting Vecna and all, and he must be amassing an army right now. You know, we get a huge battle scene, something really cool. I don't know, it's possible. I want to believe that there's going to be something else there, and it's not going to be your typical military or the bad guys. Not that there's anything wrong with that, like in essence, but we see it so much. Like, I would just like to see something a little more creatively done with that and have it be, you know, a true, usurping of expectations or whatever we want to call it. But what is that term that they use? Rian Johnson just ruined it for everyone, didn't he? But there you go. Shot said, low-key, I cried when Will got his powers. That shit meant something to me. Interesting. Yeah, I felt like I didn't feel numb to it. I was just like, oh, man. Like, I wanted it to be a bigger revelation in that episode. I'm not against him having powers or anything like that, Shoddy. I just hope they just handle it the right way, you know? Okay, let me jump in and see what you guys are saying here. Okay, here we go. We're past all the video game talk. Not that there's anything wrong with video game talk, but here we go. 11 gets stuck in the user and loses her power. Stuck in the user. Are you talking about the guy that they like tied up and she went inside of his head? Is that what you're talking about? Leanna says, not loving the theory that the whole show is based on a book written by Mike after Will died. Gah! No, please, God, no. No, I don't want it to be a fake out. I don't want it to be like, oh, it was just all one big D&D campaign and like they're just like grown ass men that are like playing a game as if they, you know, going back to their childhood with this game. I want it to, yeah, Leanna, I'm kind of with you. However they do it, for these characters in the world they exist, I want this to be real. If it's not real, to me it seems inconsequential in every meaning of the word and a total rug pull. And I'll tell you this, Leanna, if they do that, the book, or it was all just a D&D game, I'll probably never watch the show again. But if it's something where it like actually holds weight to these characters and their lives, I would be way more inclined to go back and experience the whole show. But if it's like, it was all a dream, I ain't watching this shit again. And I will go back to talking shit about it, and I will slander it at that point. How was the government using 8's illusion powers? I know, Ben. I need to know the answer to this question you've brought up. That's, you know, so I will say that. I don't think that's a negative for season 5 so far, but there are a lot of questions after 4 episodes. A shitload of questions, right? And that's cool. And not every question needs to be answered, right? I mean, I'm willing to accept that. But the question that you're asking, I do want that question answered. Absolutely, I do. And I don't want them to try and answer every question because it'll just seem like jam-packed and cluttered and everything. But yeah, how has the government been using 8's illusion powers? Are they trying to trap Vecna somewhere? Are they trying to send 8 into a place that isn't the upside down and isn't the real world, but is someplace in between? I don't know what it is. I've got a feeling that there's going to be this extra layer. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I'm really curious too. And I'm curious as to why Max is going through Henry's memories. Or is it 8 that's sending her there? Or sending his memories to her? You know, like Max being in high school, and you hear Joyce like giving Steve Harrington's dad shit. I don't think we even know his name yet because I think he's just called Harrington in the memory. So she's back in like 59 or 69? 59. So she's back in like 1959, right? So yeah, I need to know. And I need to know if anything that we've seen in the previous seasons, season 2 or 3 and 4 at least, was an illusion of 8. Yeah. Oh, in the under, gotcha. So Stephanie said 11 gets stuck in the under and loses her powers. That could happen. I think 11's either gonna die or happily ever after with Mike. I think it's like one of those two things. I wouldn't be upset if it's something else. I just feel, with like the kind of story we've been getting, certain outcomes you can sort of predict if it's either going to be total doom or total happiness for this character, because usually when they end things, it's not somewhere in the middle. But if they wanted to tease 11 as a potential villain down the line in a spinoff, they could leave her there, and then she turns into something twisted and evil, as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. I swear people were putting that out there to make us appreciate the ending because it's better than that. Yeah, it would be a total cop-out of an ending. I mean, Mike could still do that. It could still all be real, right? And then Mike grows up to be a writer, and the way he pays tribute to his childhood friend is he writes this, tells the story of their wild childhood, their wildhood. And, that's something we see in storytelling as well, like the character that writes about a story that you either do or don't know about. Yeah. Like Stand By Me, more member berries. God, I hope it doesn't end like Stand By Me. I mean, that's a perfect ending for Stand By Me, but I still think there's a time travel element here somewhere. Well, they definitely tease it, right? Leanna, with the Harrington's beamer with the flashing lights is very reminiscent of the lights turning on to power, the flux capacitor, powering the DeLorean to send it, into the future, into the past. As they drive into the Upside Down. So there's definitely that. There's even, we get confirmation, right? Is it season 4 or was it the beginning of this season? I think it's season 4, where we get confirmation that the Upside Down is stuck on that November 6th day that Will got pulled in. So there's like a frozen time element already. And then Max is, kind of traveling through time, and Holly's reading A Wrinkle in Time, which I've never read and will never read probably. But yeah, I don't think they do anything by accident. I think the Duffers are they're smart in that way, that everything has everything's intentioned and purposed. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, that just sort of hit me the morning that Em and I were going to hop on our call. I started looking at it and I sent her a bunch of shit. We're about to hop on the call in 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, I just found out all this stuff. What do you think? And she's like, oh my God, Davey, this is crazy. Very, very fun. And I hope that something comes of that. I hope that I like that the D&D stuff is connected. And like I said, I've never played D&D. I don't have anything against it. I just never have. I've had friends all through my life that have played it. There's a chance that I might enter in on a campaign with the horror show people, because they're going to start a new campaign. But reading about it has been fascinating. It really has. I didn't know Vecna. I thought Vecna was just they created it for their campaign in season 3. And then I Googled it and I'm like, fuck, Vecna was wasn't there at the beginning of D&D, but has become one of the most famous villains in D&D because of I can't remember the name of the campaign, but it was basically a written out campaign. I think they put some of their campaigns in book form in some way. Again, I don't play. I could be talking out of my ass. I'm just trying to remember what I read from Google. And yeah, it came out in the mid 70s. And I'm like, oh my God. So this character has all this history. What can I learn or maybe predict about the show from reading about the D&D character? Let's see. What do we got? Nanette says, I think Max, Holly, 8, 11, Will, Hopper, and Steve are going to be the ones who are the biggest fighters against Vecna and Henry. I think we're going to get an everyone kind of thing. Maybe Holly does get some special powers, and she's able to fight. I don't know if she has special powers now or just the ability to see things. I mean, she's had the ability to tap into the light bright was a big thing in season 4, I believe. And I think they might be setting Holly up to be a spin-off character for sure. But I think everyone's going to do some fighting, superpowers or not. Yeah. So many hints at time travel in the last few seasons. Yeah. I started thinking this, and I don't know, guys, this is kind of nuts. I'm like, what if we've never met Steve's dad and we don't know what his name is? What if Jonathan and Will, or one of them, maybe just Jonathan, what if Jonathan is half brothers with Steve. Like, what if Joyce was with the Harrington dad in high school? And what if Jonathan, like, wouldn't it be kind of funny if Jonathan and Steve, they both got this Nancy thing, she's dated both of them. Wouldn't it be kind of funny if we find out that they're related in some way? Or, you know, half brother or whatever, like, you know, something like that. Be kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. I don't know. I think that would sort of paint everything that's going on between them in a totally different light and would be kind of fun to know on a rewatch as well. So maybe I just found it's very specific that Joyce is interacting with the Harrington dad in that flashback for how limited the flashback was. And it didn't really give us much information other than, yep, Max is in 1959. And then we get that little reference, little tease. No. Yeah, 11 is a deadly weapon. She is, but there's no 11-sided dice. So there's the 12-sided dice, and so that's why I think the kids are going to be the weapons, or they're going to be used as weapons in some way. Yeah. But yeah, 11, it's the 20-sided die is the most consequential die, and those three characters that are the most, 11, Callie, and Vecna, are the most consequential characters seemingly in the whole series. It seems like they're setting up Callie to be like, hey guys, little did you know, this is one of the most important characters here, and she might only end up being in like 5 or 6 episodes. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm worried about that, Ashton. I don't want it to be that way. I really like Dave McCrae's theory. You guys know Dave McCrae, right? You know, Dave's been one of my favorite YouTubers for a really long time, and he just made a post about like, hey, you know, like he had made a previous post about he thinks 11 should sacrifice herself. I think that makes sense. I think 11 and Will might both go out that way, and at least one of them. And so I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. Like, I wouldn't be mad if that happened. And then a few days later or whatever it was, he posted a theory. This might have been a week ago. Not even just a theory, just like, hey, I think it would be great if the show ended like this. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen it. But essentially he was like, you know, we fast forward after the big battle to a few months later, everyone that's alive is getting ready to go off to college or, you know, go do their grown-up thing. And maybe some of them stay in Hotkins. Guys, that's the porn version of Stranger Dongs. Hey guys, welcome to Hotkins. Sorry, it's not a Davey Deathray stream unless it like wanders into some really weird shit like that. So maybe some of them stay there in Hawkins, and before we close out on the series, right, the boys all sit down for one last game of D&D, and the camera pans slowly back as we fade, and it's like the way the show began with them playing D&D. Now the show ends with them as grown-ups playing D&D as a visual representation of the last act of their youth, kind of thing. I mean, if I'm paraphrasing what Dave said, hopefully I did a good enough job. I'm not trying to take his idea. I just think his idea is very well composed, and that's why Dave, you know, is making his own original movie, and that's why he's a filmmaker, because he's really good at that stuff. Maybe Henry's sister / Karen Wheeler. So wait, Nanette, are you saying that Karen Wheeler is Henry's sister? Guys, do we think that... Well, wait, but Henry's sister died, right? For sure. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, 8 creates illusions, but 8 wasn't alive in 59. Man, I don't know. Ben says government will definitely use the sound weapon against Vecna to help the gang out at some point. I think Robin might be the one to put that together. And it's very interesting that Vecna hasn't really attacked the military base in the Upside Down yet. Like, why hasn't that happened? Why are there no more demon bats? I know they like died when he, you know, got zapped or burnt up at the end of season 4, but there's no more demon bats. The Upside Down is like pretty safe. You know, like in season 4, the Upside Down is immediate danger and hellaciousness. But yeah, I think trapping Vecna in a spot. Ben, you might not have been around earlier in the stream because I'd like mentioned like I want to see Robin kind of kick some more ass, and I think a part of that is using sound waves. Her and Dustin kind of getting together on that, and yeah, the same way the government or the same way they use it against 11, and I think that's what you're saying here. They could trap Vecna somewhere. What if that giant wall? They tear into that wall with like sound waves. Or I was talking to Leanna offline earlier today, and she was like, well, yeah, music's always played a big part, and it's always played a big part in either preventing or basically, yeah, preventing Vecna from getting what he wants and essentially like saving people. So what if it's used as an actual weapon this time? And what if the wall is, I mean, really just a barrier between the Upside Down and Vecna's like greater consciousness, or whatever, whoever the big bad is, the wall is there to protect them. Very, very interesting. I'm saying why A Wrinkle in Time and Back to the Future. I'm saying why A Wrinkle in Time and Back to the Future Easter eggs. Who knows? They're definitely, yeah, and it might just be to do with Max and Holly. Maybe it's very specific to those characters. Yeah. Yeah, the burden of expectation is high on this one, Ben. That's for sure. Why does Vecna need all the kiddos? We don't really know. That's one of the questions I've been wondering too, Stephanie. Why? What's the end result, or what's the end game here with the kids? Are they like batteries for something? It seems like he's either sucking energy from people, or like Will, you know, he pumped all that stuff into Will, you know, in the first season. That's the way this season starts, is they go back to the first season essentially and show you Vecna walking up to Will and doing all that. So he could be kind of farming to create weapons, because Will looks like a pretty effective weapon or potential weapon, doesn't he? And I think that's what Vecna's doing with the other kids. And I think he's using Holly to like find them, right? Holly's kind of like a compass at this point. Maybe her powers will turn into something else. Let's see here. Shot by Shot says, Davey, you should totally let me hop on a stream with you and talk Stranger Things 5. You know, I don't know how many more streams I'm gonna do on Stranger Things. We'll see how this one does. I might do some more pre-recorded stuff. Yeah, I don't know how many more of these I'll do, Shotty. Haven't watched the show yet. I'm a wee bit behind. I'm gonna get going so stuff doesn't get spoiled for me. Oh my gosh, Jamie. Well, yes, we've been freely talking. I hope it hasn't completely ruined it for you, but thank you so much for kicking it with us, and I hope you have a good night. There's no way Dr. K wasn't involved in texting the kids with Martin. Testing the kids with Martin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I hope we get some confirmation of that for sure. I thought that when 11 got to Dr. K, she asked 11 if she knew who she was, and they had a flashback of 11 with her at the Institute. Did that happen? And I'm totally like have forgotten. Did that happen? I remember them talking. I don't remember a flashback. Have I already memory dumped that scene? That's not good. And I was not using cannabis, so I don't know what that says about me. Will I be upset if 11 dies or is trapped in the Upside Down? No. No, I will not. As long as it's well earned and it fits the story, I won't. Ben says, I don't think Hopper dies. They made it too obvious that he's willing to die right now with the bombs. Yeah, he's like all strapped up with the dynamite and everything. I went from he's definitely dead to he's alive at the end. I think so too. He's experienced too much tragedy and heartbreak so far in his life. So I think he will live. It's also the date on the program of the play Joyce was handing out in Henry's Memories. Okay. November 6th. Okay. It's the day after my sister's birthday. Okay, they did go back. Okay. I just must have, I don't know. Did I just blink too long during that scene? I know I didn't fall asleep. Just hoping the radio tower isn't how we lose a main character. Justice for Steve. Is this a thing where people are just assuming that Steve will die? And is it just because we love him a lot? Is it like what they did to Eddie, they're just going to do to Steve? Is that what's going on? What if the radio tower plays a big part in it the way it played a big part in Halloween Ends, Leanna? Which it didn't really, but I love that people thought that it did, because I don't know what David Gordon Green said about the tower, but it definitely sent people into a tizzy. Steve could be Jonathan's brother. That's what I'm saying. What if the big secret is that Jonathan and Will are half brothers and Jonathan and Steve are half brothers? So Lonnie Byers could still be like the dad, you know, but Joyce just got a little by Steve's dad first. Let's see here. I mean, the U.S. government wanting to hunt her down makes sense. She's a deadly weapon. Yeah. Yeah, and they don't know her motivation, right? So she's dangerous, and they don't know if she's friend or foe. So I think at some point there will be that understanding, and the two will join forces. Yeah. Oh, we did get to meet Joyce's ex-husband, and he was Jonathan and Will's dad in season 1 of Stranger Things. Well, we're told that, right? Lonnie Byers, we're told that one of those kids could still be somebody else's. She could have married Lonnie, and she could have already either had Jonathan or been pregnant with Jonathan. It's probably not going to happen, but I think there's a reason why the older Harrington was mentioned in the flashback and that we've never seen him and we don't even know what his first name is. Let's see here. If it wasn't for Davey's channel, Davey's channel, I wouldn't have found the Death Squad. I was like, who's this Davo guy? Or is there somebody out there named Davo that's pointing people to the Death Squad? I mean, that would be even more incredible, right? Appreciate you kicking it here, Jay Beach. Of course, man. I'm happy that you're hanging with us. Let's see here. What, that Steve's gonna die is the theory? Yeah. A lot of people think she is his sister, and she was not surprised by the monsters coming out to hurt her. She acted like she knew they were real. Oh, Karen Wheeler. Okay, sorry guys, we're talking about so many characters. I'm not going to tell you how to text or how to write in the chat, but it helps if there's a character. It helps me if there's a character name. What's happening, Chester? How you doing? A lot of people think she faked her death and changed her name so Henry would not find her. A child faking her death, I have a tough time believing. However, if they did, they were able to save her, but they whisked her off, that's possible. Like a witness protection kind of thing. That's very possible. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it has gone full soap opera, and anything is possible. I don't know if that's good or if that's bad. Hawkins PD has disappeared. Yeah, we really yeah. Whoa. We haven't seen the Hawkins PD in season 5, huh? Crazy. What's happening, Blu-ray Addict? Favorite episode of Stranger Things? Man, it's so tough because I watched seasons 3 and 4 in a week and a half. So I'm trying to remember. Some of it kind of blurs together for me. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Favorite episode? I think season 3 is my favorite season, so it'd have to be one of those episodes. I mean, I love when they fight the Mind Flayer. I think it's the finale or the episode before it. Yeah, that's a good question. I'd probably need to watch them all again, and then I'd have a favorite. But the season 4 finale is fantastic, man. That's a great favorite episode to have for sure. I mean, season 4 is really, really impressive. Government could have just been using 8 to find a weapon against those kids. It's true. They could be using her. They could be using 8 as a weapon. They could be using 8 to seek out a weapon or to find 11. It is. It's so up in the air. I guess that's the mark of a good show, that there's a lot of questions that I have, and I'm actually interested in thinking about them and talking about them with people. Let's see what we got. I don't think we'll see any big character deaths in the second half of the season. I think the only characters that will die are Vecna and 8. Man, I hope that's not so. I wanted a death or two in the first half of the season. I wanted the stakes to be raised immediately. It didn't make the first half of the season bad to me, in my opinion, or anything. I think the slowness of the pacing is my biggest issue with season 5 so far, but I still don't think it's bad. I think I would give this season so far a 7 or a 7.5, something like that, just so far. but the whole season could turn into, I mean, it could be a 9 or a 10 by the end of it. It really is how they stick the landing, and which questions they answer and which questions they don't. And, you know, that we just get something that's a satisfying conclusion, you know, and hopefully a good launching point for whatever they want to do next. I don't think they're going 90s, guys. They could. Maybe it's that I don't want to see 90s. Here's my thought. I think it would be cool if we did a spin-off where we go back. So we go back to like young Joyce, 50s, 60s kind of thing. That could be really cool. And what could be awesome about that, we're already seeing that it's working well for it. Welcome to Derry. So I think maybe we do a prequel for the spin-off, and then we do a reunion show. We do a reunion one-off season, maybe just 6 episodes where in 10, 15 years, they bring back whoever's left from the original cast. And then they put it in the 2000s. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? So we go from like 87 to like early 2000s, and then you get that 2000s nostalgia. I think that could be cool. And the characters will be like kind of aged up properly because they aged much more than the 4 years that we saw. They've aged 9 years in real life. So it'll be kind of like the timing will match up. I think that could be kind of cool. You know, it's all about how you write it, but I think it could be cool. Let's see here. I remember when I watched Weapons, I kept thinking of Stranger Things and vice versa. Gosh, when I watched Weapons, I was like, what's happening? Should start a death pool on the Discord. Which character do you think is going to die first? That would be pretty funny. Will they create a spin-off show after spending $500 million on season 5? They already have announced that there will be a spin-off show. So the Duffer Brothers will produce, and I don't know if they're going to, I think they're working on it sounds like at least working on an outline for the story. So the Duffer Brothers have signed with Paramount to go and create something over on Paramount. They said it's not going to be 80s driven. They're going to do something else over on Paramount, and they are going to, you know, executive produce and basically sort of curate the spinoff. But the spinoff, it will be at Netflix, and it has been confirmed, at least at this point. These things could die at any point, Leanna, like these, you know, I'm sure you already know this. So as of right now, it's confirmed, but no details on it. And I bet it makes them, it's got to be making them a lot of money. I will say that Stranger Things looks fantastic. It is the best looking streaming show. It is cinematic in every way. Like the effects are great, better than some feature length films. And, you know, Frank Darabont is directing in this new season. I think Sean Levy did a whole bunch in season 4. And I think he did a better job directing those episodes than he did directing Deadpool and Wolverine. So I think it, you know, I think Netflix will put the money into it. A spinoff won't get 500 million though. I don't think. If the first season is a hit, they'll start spending a lot of money. Yeah. Season 3 and 4 Discord watch party. It's just such a big commitment, isn't it, Stephanie? I'm not against it, and I wouldn't say no. But I know that I wouldn't be able to fit my schedule around watching them that way personally. I agree. I think there's definitely been some main character death, or should have been some main character deaths. I thought for sure Ted and Karen were both killed, but they ended up surviving. Yes, I wanted Will dead by episode 4. I wanted him to die. Yep. What 2 characters would you want to have a spinoff? Robin and Steve for me. They'd be great. I kind of want the spinoff to be like characters that we don't really that we spent just a little bit of time with. I don't know. Like, I don't think I need an Argyle spinoff because he works better playing off other people. But they'll probably do something in a comic book or a book with those characters because Argyle really hit it off with Susie's sister, right? Who knows what's going to go on with Susie and Dusty Bun. Susie is such a Wes Anderson character, isn't she? Like a just what's the word I'm looking for? It was like right on the tip of my tongue. She's just like this curious, nerdy Mormon girl that works a ham radio and can hack. You know, it's a very Wes Anderson kind of thing. 2 characters that I would want to see have a spinoff. I don't know. That's a good question, Ben. That's a good question. I'm still thinking, because I'm already thinking about the spinoff being a prequel. So if they do go 90s and we fast forward a few years, then I would say like Holly and Derek. Yeah, Holly and Derek. Dipshit Derek. They are doing a spinoff cartoon. Yeah, there's the one that I was just talking about, Nanette, is a and Leanna, because you had mentioned it. So yeah, they're doing a cartoon, but the Duffer Brothers are also producing a live action one as well. Let's see here. Yeah, should be good. Yeah, I'm not a fan, Chester. Not a fan of Ohio State, but it definitely wasn't our year this year. There's supposed to be a Nancy spinoff in a book form. Paula, that's one of those things. I got sent a story by somebody on Instagram, and I'm like, as you click through, because the first thing is like confirmed Nancy spinoff, and then you click through the images, and it's like they've confirmed that they're going to tell a Nancy story in a book. So the television show will not be a Nancy spinoff. As far as we know, it could be. Yeah. Yeah, Nancy Drew. Just her working at the paper with the dickhead guys, like all friggin' day. What are we at? An hour and a half here? I think we're reaching a good time to sort of chill out here. Hopes for the finale, guys. So yeah, I mean, I want to see some meaningful character deaths. I don't want everyone to die just for the sake of it. Like I want the stakes to be risen. I want to see Will or 11 or possibly both sacrifice themselves. I think more likely Will, and I think Mike and 11 will get the happy ever after kind of ending here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, sort of what I'm hoping for as well. Will is just such a sad sap that I don't know if I want to see him come out of this thing. And I just think it would be such a great gesture to his friends, because he's sort of been marked since the very beginning. You know, if they had killed him in season 2, if they just killed him, who knows if all this stuff keeps on happening, right? Not to advocate for that, but it's just, food for thought. And yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things that I hope for in the finale. I hope to see Robin being more badass in the back half of the season. I want some revelations with Callie that make me look at the previous seasons in a different light and give rewatchability value to the overall series. And I guess I just want that from the finale as well. I want the finale to leave me in a spot that makes me want to go back and rewatch, and having known how it all shakes out and the revelations and everything like that, to go back and experience everything all over again and feel the heartbreak and the emotion, having known how the story rounds out. I guess that's kind of my ultimate hope for the finale. And I don't know about you guys, I am planning on checking it out in the theater on New Year's Eve. So my party days are behind me, so I'm not going to be doing any of that. And I would imagine maybe they do a couple showings of it. I really don't know. I'll probably be reviewing all of those on the Horror Show channel. But of course, you guys can check out, we do spoiler versions of the reviews over on the Horror Show channel when it comes to stuff like Stranger Things. But I'll still drop like a non-spoiler short on the channel. So if you guys want to get my fresh thoughts after those Christmas episodes and after the New Year's Eve episode, just know if it's a short video from me, that I won't be spoiling anything. I will be very vague in general. I won't even hint at spoilers or anything like that. So yeah, those are my hopes for the finale. Let me know what you guys got, and then we can just sort of close this sucker out. Steve lives, that's all I want, says channel member Linda. Yeah, I want Steve to live too. Okay, there we go. Another hope. And I'm going to put that other hope right on the pile. Steve lives. I think Steve is great. I don't want to see anything bad happen to him for sure. If Steve dies, I'll need rehab. There you go. The cartoon is between seasons 2 and 3. I think that's a cool idea, like a prequel that fits in. Yeah. I think they will too, Ashton. I think they're going to make season 2, and especially that episode, look a lot better in retrospect. And I think I think Fuego said this over on the Horror Show channel, because he's caught up on the books and the comics, and he said that 8 is a way bigger part in the books and the comics. So he had a feeling that she was going to come back to this final season. I think Hopper or 11 should sacrifice themselves at the end. Yeah, no, I think a lot of us want, like, is there anyone that wants Steve to bite it? Like, I would be surprised if there's a Stranger Things fan out there that is like, yeah, Steve, like, whatever. Like, no. Like, I've been worried about him dying all through seasons 3 and 4. I was worried about it because I didn't really like seek out spoilers, and or you know, and even if somebody said something in a live stream or something, I wasn't watching the show, so people would be like, oh, Eddie Munson this, Eddie Munson that. I thought Eddie was going to come in the 3rd season a little bit. I kind of expected him like towards the end or something. I even thought Billy in season 3, you know, with all the moms are like, you know, drooling over Billy. I was like, is that Eddie Munson? I was like, that's how out of it I was before I like got caught up on everything. So yeah, Steve is amazing. Joe Creary, man, I'm really pumped. I want that Cold Storage movie that he's got coming out in, I think it's January or February. That movie looks hilarious with Liam Neeson. I'm looking forward to that. Kind of looks like a Night of the Comet kind of vibe a little bit. Yeah. Vecna's heart on a platter. Dustin gets his happy ending and Andy dies. Lucas gets his happy ending and a lot more. Andy. Who's Andy? Andy. Is there a character named Andy? Am I totally like, what am I missing here? Is there a character named Andy? If any one character had to sacrifice themselves, I'd want to see Nancy to atone for Barb's death. What if Barb comes back? What if Barb is the right hand of Vecna? Something to think about. I don't think anyone important will die, since the Duffer Brothers said in a recent article that this show isn't Game of Thrones. Well, they killed... Yeah, they probably didn't want you to think that every episode somebody was going to die, because they used to kill people like in every episode of every season. That's kind of what they were known for. But I do think that you've got to have, you know, even something like Harry Potter, and we saw it in like Star Wars, you've got to have a couple meaningful deaths just to like give it the weight. Hopper will sacrifice himself for 11. He was going to. It's the beginning of season 5, so I can see that happening. It's possible. Davey says he's not going to have spoilers. Heard that before. When have I said there's not going to be spoilers and then I've spoiled? Oh, Welcome to Derry. Well, we're watching the show. It's tough to like not talk about the show. But also when we do Welcome to Derry watch parties, it's like the whole point is like you're supposed to be watching with us. But we do get people when we do those watch parties, we get people that have watched it early because they're somewhere else in the world, and they jump into the chat and they spam spoilers, even though the one that was spammed yesterday turned out to not be true. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the live chat on for those streams. The live chat will be subscriber only. Steve's character development was such a pleasure to watch. It's been amazing, and it ain't over yet, right? Like we're still going to see some really good shit, Leanna. I don't think Steve's done yet, and I think he's a very well drawn character. Great arc, yeah, for sure. Steve became my favorite character in the show after season 2. He had a really sweet arc just in those first couple seasons, right? Yeah. Wouldn't bother me if Steve dies. Oh, I love Steve, Nanette. I love Steve. He's the one that beat up Dustin. Oh, that guy. I didn't remember his name. The jock. Andy the jock. Yeah. I mean, those guys might not make it. Yeah. If we ever see him again. I don't know if we'll ever see those guys again. Maybe we'll see him at the end of the series and they will say they're sorry to Dustin. Maybe. Billy definitely hot, but he looks like my dad back in the day. I don't know how to feel about it. He's got that trashy hot thing going. You know what I mean? He's like trailer park hot. Like Jamie Presley. Yeah, he's the one dude, Glenn Powell's cousin's best friend. The guy in season 4, I was like, he was a good actor, but I was like, this dude is like, he's like the Glenn Powell's little brother, something like that. I wonder what song they're going to play at the end of the series finale. I wonder what song they're going to play that's going to be like their power song. Like, what are they going to do? Is it going to be like Back in Black, or like, you know, is it going to be like an AC/DC track? I'm like trying to figure out like, what song are they going to use to, like, what 80s hit are they going to bring in? Because they've been a little coy with the songs so far. They've definitely got a couple, but they haven't used music as much this season so far. Katie Bush. Yeah. Kate Bush. No, you're brings the main character stuff. Gotcha. As long as it's not end of beginning by what Dio? Oh, gotcha. There's supposed to be a big needle drop in the finale. It wouldn't be Stranger Things if they weren't dropping needles. That's true. That is definitely true. Yeah, they've got it. Like and that's part of the mystery that I really, I don't want that part of the mystery spoiled. Even that, I think it'll be great to just let the goosebumps happen if they happen, Okay, I closed out the poll, guys. We had 33 votes. What hit hardest in season 5 of Stranger Things Part 1? Will Superpowers wins out with 49% of 33 votes. Max to Holly's Rescue got 24%. Vecna's epic entrance got 21%. And Callie/8 making her return just 6%. Thank you to everybody that participated in the poll. Hopefully you guys hit that like button as well. And let's see here. I think that's going to wrap it up for this stream, guys. I think this has been a really great time hanging out with y'all. I very much appreciate you guys spending some time with me here on a Monday evening, especially you East Coast folks, since it's just after 11 out there here on December 1st. Guys, really quick, just in case you missed it, some new merch here up on the Fourth Wall shop. I just thought I'd scroll down and show you again really quick. We got my sweet Davey Deathray Christmas design on a hoodie, a regular sweatshirt, a couple mugs, and even a beanie. Just a small little selection of Christmas gear. And if you use the promo code HOHOHO, you get 10% off. How about that? Not so bad. Not so bad. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys, unless you have anything else for me. I don't know. Now what to watch? I know I got to put something on, and I gotta get to editing, actually. So I'm going to put on some music. Guys, I've been listening to the mini bosses like crazy. If you guys grew up playing Nintendo, the mini bosses, they have an album called Brass, and they do Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden, Double Dragon, Blaster Master, Contra, Akari Warriors, Super Mario Brothers 2, Metroid. They do, man, it's almost like prog metal. It's really, really good. Like, I love that music anyways, especially Castlevania. You guys know how I feel about that. So I'll probably just listen to some music and get into some editing. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, Jason. Thank you for being a channel member. Congrats to all the new channel members out there. And again, for the channel members, we're going to be doing that horror movie club coming here in 2026. So I'm working on putting together the calendar and planning all that stuff out. I really want the membership to be worth it for you guys. So all of the members that are in that second tier and higher, so either $4.99 a month or $9.99 a month, you guys will be able to have access to the horror movie club. And I'm just looking forward to having a more intimate, driven discussion with you guys after we watch these movies. So yeah, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. Keep an eye out for a movie news video to drop late this night or late tonight or early tomorrow. I'll make it available for the members as soon as possible. We're going to get into some stories that dropped earlier today. It's been very light on horror news, but fear not, because I'll be watching Silent Night, Deadly Night here in about a week and a half, and we'll have plenty to talk about, and then we'll have more Stranger Things to talk about. So you guys have been absolutely amazing. Shout out to the Patreon members and YouTube channel members, and of course, our incredible group of Death Squad mods. You guys are my favorite. You're my favorite. Love you guys so much. Really appreciate you once again. Have a lovely rest of your evening. I will be back on Wednesday for Late Night with the Davey before dark. So keep an eye out for that. Oh, and Lee from Drum Dums and I are going to go live on Thursday because I heard that another Scream 7 trailer's dropping on Thursday. So Lee and I are planning on going live Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, to talk about Stranger Things, talk about It, Welcome to Derry, and hopefully a Scream 7 trailer. So keep an eye out for that. I'll share that as soon as I have it ready. You all are beautiful. You're amazing. Fear not, I will be back. But until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.